by telephone today, so all roll calls will be voice, roll call vote. Go ahead, Mark.
Enslinger,
Yep.
Jerza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Larson.
Yep.
Motion carried.
The previous meetings of the 25th, 4th, 6th of July, excuse me, what am I thinking about this morning? Approval of the previous minutes of February 26, 2024 were also provided in the packet of information. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to make to those minutes?
Just found a few spelling errors in there. Joe Schrader's spelled wrong a couple times. Telephonically spelled wrong.
I'll get that changed.
Not to be a pain in the butt.
Guess spell check didn't work this week.
Move to approve with those corrections. Well, since Joe's going by an alias, I'll approve it too. Second.
Moved and seconded that the minutes be approved with some minor changes in spelling. Do I hear any questions further? If not, go ahead, Mark.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Enslinger,
Yes.
Jerza,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The schedule for the next meeting should be March 25th. Do I hear a motion for the blanket?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the blanket be approved for the 25th of March. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. Mark, your turn.
Enslinger,
Yes.
Jerza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item on the agenda is a plat of Tract 1 of Tupper's Edition in the northeast quarter of Section 8, Township 103 North, Range 60 west of the 5th parallel meridian, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by Focus Land and Cattle, LLC. Mark, talk to us a little bit.
This lies outside ETJ, but within 3 miles of city limits. Therefore, it's county zoning jurisdiction. Applicant is parceling off the farmstead to be able to sell that in the future. County Planning Commission approved the plat and recommended approval of the variance and lot size for the dwelling at their March 5th meeting. County Commission and Board of Adjustment will hear both of those tomorrow. The applicant owned or purchased the ground a few months ago, and like I said, is parceling off the 9-ish acres for that farmstead. He wants to retain the pasture land or hunting ground there. They're the ones that own the hunting lodge to the west there.
Okay.
Karen from the county is here if you have any questions for the county about with this plat. I can answer any questions you have for me.
Anybody got any questions? County Planning has approved the plat, is that correct?
Correct.
Move to approve. Second.
Second.
You were too late, Larry.
Sorry.
Moved and seconded that the plat be approved as presented. Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. Mark, your turn.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Enslinger,
Yes.
Jerza,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item, a conditional use permit for Tara Valesky has applied for a multifamily dwelling located at 2221 East Havens, legally described as Lot 2 in the northeast quarter of, and Lot 3B in the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter, except for H1 and W7, now the west 7 rods of Lot 1 in the northeast quarter and the west 7 rods of the northeast quarter of northeast EX without Highway 1 lot of Section 26, T103 north, R60 west of the 5th parallel meridian, Davidson County, South Dakota. The said real property is zoned R2 single family residential district. Okay, conditional use, talk to us, Mark.
As noticed in the paper, letters were sent out to the neighbors, signs posted for it. There was one letter received in favor that was included in your packet. The applicant came in requesting to do a fourplex or a couple duplexes on the land that she owned. And since this is an urban development, that is a conditional use for this area. She's still in the process of figuring out what exactly she wants to do for the layout for those. She's been in conversation with the city and also with Davidson County Rural Water to figure out utilities for that area. But for right now, it's just approval to be able to kind of move forward with the rest of the planning stages for her. Applicants here, if you have any questions for her, I can answer any you have for me.
Applicant, would you like to talk to us?
Yeah, I'm,
Podium, Tara.
me?
Gotta come.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure,
You know that.
I changed my mind more than the weather. Yeah, I'm still, every time I go out there, I change something. And so I'm just kind of, I have a surveyor out there right now, and he's getting a little frustrated with me because I've changed, I don't know how many change orders, but I wonder what the bill's going to be. But so I'll do a lot, and then I'll say, well, no, make it a little bigger, or no, maybe we'll do a twin home, or maybe we'll just do a house. But basically, I'm looking at probably 5 prime lots out there, and that's it. You know, what, by the trees, because it kind of looks like in the Black Hills. But it's ongoing, and it changes daily. But I need that permit if I decide to maybe start building this fall or next year.
Septics?
Yeah, good question. That's up to the city. Well, it would maybe be septic, but I'm looking at possibly getting sewer line. That's all, we're still kind of in the negotiation talks.
Any other questions?
But I think septic, they're over half acre, acre, whatever.
I think the state that will tell you what that has to be.
Yeah. I think didn't the county say at least half an acre?
I think it's an acre.
Or an acre? Okay, yeah, I got plenty of acres, yeah.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we're looking for a motion.
Move to approve.
And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that the conditional use permit be approved. Discussion. Hearing none, Mark, your turn.
I would suggest asking if there's anybody in the audience for this one as well.
Okay. Anybody else got any comments on this rascal? I've got my handy dandy little 3-minute timer along. Don't hear anything, so Mark, it's your turn.
Genslinger,
Yep.
Jurza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Larson.
Yep, and I hope they keep us informed. I think there was some issues before with this type of project, so I'll vote yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Next item. Conditional use for Erica Hensley. Hensley? I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. She has applies for a conditional use permit to operate an educational institution located at 1325 Palmer Place, legally described as Lot 5 in the west 3 feet of Lot 4, Block 8, Garden View Edition, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. The said real property is zoned R2 single family. Talk to us about this one too, Mark, please.
Notices were sent out to the neighbors, published in the paper, signs posted. There were 3 letters received in favor that made the packet, 1 that did not. There was nothing, no comments on it, so it was just an approval for them. That's why I didn't print that off today. As you recall, Erica runs Little Rascals Daycare. In May of 23, they actually moved and rented the house next door to them, and did the daycare in this house, since it wasn't a dwelling that they were living in. They got a conditional use for the childcare preschool and nursery at that location. That was approved. Since then, they have begun homeschooling their kids and some other kids, their relatives' kids that they'd like to do. State says that they can do up to 22 kids there. Nobody under the age of 3 for that portion of it. I've talked with Fire Marshal Sandoval about it. He doesn't have any concerns, but was going to reach out to them again. He just did his inspection on it this last time for the conditional use, but he'd be willing to go back through there again. Building permit wise, I've talked with Hag about that. There's nothing in code for this, for that size of an educational facility. Can answer any questions you have. She is not here. She's probably doing her daycare right now.
She's been operating that daycare for more than since yesterday.
Yeah, she's had daycare for quite a few years.
Yeah. That's kind of pretty important to know. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve. With the 3 conditions.
Well, this is an educational facility, this isn't.
Oh, this, we don't
So I
have to
don't
do
think
that.
we have those conditions,
Is
right?
that part of it?
We,
I like the
looked back,
fire
we-
marshal though.
yeah, I looked back and we've never approved one of these before. You could put those same 3 conditions on there. I mean, it's essentially almost the same thing as what she's doing right now. It wouldn't hurt, but yet it's up to the board if you want to have those on there. You can put conditions on any conditional use that's out there.
I'd recommend at least putting non-transferable with it.
So that'd be the other one too. The fire marshal is non-transferable.
And then
And then
it
cease to
ceases.
operate. I'm fine with those.
So,
Larry, you fine with that for your second?
I am.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on the motion. Sorry, I heard Larry before I heard you.
No, I didn't. I was just saying, I'd like to see I was just kind of discussing.
Okay. Hearing no further discussion, Mark, it's your turn.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Jurza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Larson,
Yep.
motion carried.
Next item, a plat of Lot 1A in Block 3 of Stardust subdivision to the City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by Jensen Capital and Development LLC. Excuse me.
So as you recall, not too long ago, you had a plat for down in this area for Jensen Capital Development LLC, a little further to the west for some smaller lots, and then there's this big lot. Also, recently, we amended the PUD for this area because it was multifamily up to 24 units, and we took off the up to 24, so it's multifamily. The plan for this area is to build, I believe it's about a 95-unit apartment on this lot. So they are platting off a parcel from the parent parcel for that apartment. So we are in the review stages for the building permit portion of it, but that's not with the plat itself.
Has nothing to do with the plat, with what you guys are looking at right now.
Correct.
Water and sewer going to be a problem for that kind of a service out there, staff?
No, we don't foresee any issues at that location.
Anybody out there that's got any comments or questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, Mark, your turn.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Jurza,
Yes.
Larson,
Yep.
motion carried.
Next item, a plat, portion of the North Capitol Street, a subdivision of Lot 14, except the west 40 feet of Block 1. Scott's second addition to the City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by the City of Mitchell. Gonna acquire some street right away, guys, huh?
Actually, it's already street right away because the city owns it. The issue that we have found is It is not platted as right-of-way, it is used as right-of-way. So
Ah.
this would be cleaning that portion up. The blocks in this area are, in the whole development, not just this development, there's about 4 or 5 different developments that kind of come together along North Capitol. North Capitol goes from 80 feet at the north all the way down to 48 feet further south in town, so it's kind of an odd road. This winter, we found that the landowner adjacent was not cleaning the sidewalk off, and they did not have to clean the sidewalk off because it was platted land that the city owned, not platted right-of-way. So we are platting into right-of-way, so that way that'll be taken care of.
All right. Anybody out there got any comments on what's going on? That includes you guys.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
You got beat, Larry.
Okay.
Moved and seconded that we approve this portion. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none. Mark, your turn.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Urza,
Yes.
Larson,
Yep.
motion carried.
Next item, a plat of lots A, B, and C of Fawn Creek Addition, a subdivision of previously platted lot number 3 in the west half of Section 31, Township 104 North, Range 60 West of the 5th parallel meridian, Davidson County, South Dakota, and lots D and E of Fawn Creek Addition, a subdivision of previously platted lot number 3 and of irregular tract number 2 within lot number 3 in the west half of Section 31, Township 104 North, Range 60 West of the 5th parallel meridian, City of Mitchell, South Dakota, as requested by the city. This
So-
one looks like it's kind of a hodgepodge.
It is. We're doing some cleanup out there for a lot of land that's never been platted before, so that's what this is brought before you. Lot E and D, the city actually owns. There's a small portion down here that the city just acquired from Ralph and Pam Kiner. That's getting platted into Lot E. It was just a regular tract 2 before. You can see that this rectangle right here is owned by Nicole Kiner. There's a land transfer from Pam and Ralph Kiner to do a square foot per square foot swap of some land. So now her new parcel will be this part, and then Ralph and Pam will own these 2 right here. So it's kind of cleaning up the area and for some future projects out there. It is, so lot D and E are within city limits already. The other is outside city limits, but it's within the 3 mile. It's city's zoning jurisdiction. County will hear this though at their next meeting in April. I will say that we did leave off a signature on here for the highway authority since it's in the county. County has to have highway authority's signature on that as well. So I do have an updated version, it just didn't make the packet for that.
Okay.
Answer any questions that you have.
Anybody got questions?
I should also note that there is an easement that gets down to Lot B from from 406. It also goes around to the south side and gets to Lot D as well. So there is easements to get to Lot D and E. D and D. Lot E, it's all water in that area, so it's navigable water, access from water. Or there is actually a small spot along that easement that you could get to it as well.
I was going to ask about easements.
And some additional information, Tract A, the north lot, the city is going to be bringing a purchase agreement at the next city council meeting to potentially purchase that piece of property from Kiners.
Makes sense.
Are the Kiners okay with all this?
The Kiners have been very well to work with for all of this. We've had many meetings with them. Yes, they're
on board.
on board with the whole thing. It's just taken a little longer than they were anticipating it to do, especially with having to do some title work with some transfers and things like that. So it's been a process.
Anybody got any comments on this besides this board or to this board? If not, we're ready for a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve this plats. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, Mark, your turn.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Gurza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item on the agenda, a plat of West Plum Avenue, lots 13A through 26A, Block 2, and lots 1A through 7A in Block 3, and Drainage Tract 1A, Block 4, MLC Edition, a subdivision of Block 3, Block 4B, Block 4, and Block 5, Morning View addition to the City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by Muller Lumber. Getting ready to do a little more building.
Yeah, if you recall, they had a plat approved. This is the one that was approved and recorded previously. They also had a master plan for this area approved by Planning Commission. The applicant would like to shift the road a little bit to give these few lots a little bit extra space. It still fits within zoning regulations for the PUD that's down there. By shortening these a little bit and increasing these, they were all in compliance before, they still stay in compliance. They're gonna have to do a little extra work out there for their infrastructure because they've got some of it in, but that's all gonna be on them. So Public Works has no issues with that portion of it.
Not his first trip to the rodeo, is it, out there? Discussion? Hearing none, we're ready for a motion.
Well, if that's all it is, just moving the road over a little bit, a few feet, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded that let's see, this is a plat, isn't it? That the plat be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. Mark, it's your turn again.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Gurza,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes?
Motion carried.
Item number 14, a plat of lots 1 through 6 in Block 1A, lots 1 through 10 in Block 1B, Tract DR1A, Block 2A, lots 1 through 9, Block 3A, lots 1 and 2 of Block 4A, lots 1 through 13 of Block 5A, Block 6A, Nagel Lane, Peace Place, Nashura Drive, and North Calhoun Street, all in Ridgeview on Foster Addition in the northwest quarter of Section 23, T103 North, R60 West of the 5th parallel meridian, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by Avera Queen of Peace. And this is a property that we have looked at before, and we're obviously abandoning an existing plat. Is that not correct?
That's correct. You've seen this before. This is the old plat. I should have mentioned with the Muller Lumber one as well. The whole thing didn't need to be replatted, just like this one doesn't all need to be replatted. Like Block 6 and Block 5, nothing changed from the old one to the new one. But in discussion with SBN and the Register of Deeds, it's easier to follow title work and chain if you replat and vacate the whole thing, because then when they go to search something at the Register of Deeds, it'll say all of these lots vacated, see book and page here. So they don't have to go between the two different plats that are there.
I think we've heard that before.
Yeah, so this one, they're requesting to replat it as well. As you can see, with this new version, Peace Place continues all the way through up to 8th Avenue from Nagle Lane, and we're vacating Wallace Street right here. Ridgeview gets the west 33 feet. Landowner owned here gets the east 33 feet, and City Mitchell has this lot, which would get the east 33 feet of that vacated lot as well. I can answer any questions you have for me on that.
So-
Open for input?
Talk to us.
Terry Sabers, President of Mitchell Area Housing. After the last plat, it was late last year, that was approved. Obviously, I think everybody remembers there were some issues with some of the neighbors. So we went back to the drawing board, looked at this, and actually came up with what we think is going to be a better design. And last night, between last night and this morning, I had discussions with neighbors, and unfortunately, most of them are out of town, but they're all in favor of what we're proposing here. So I think it's a better layout, and we're ready to go on it. I'd open for any other questions.
You know what? I really didn't have to bring my antique 3-minute timer along, did I? I wondered about that, but discussion, questions for these folks?
So why are we vacating that there? Why couldn't they make the lots the same size as, because wasn't that the big issue of these people there about the traffic and all this and that? To get out and about? I mean, if they would have made it block 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the same size as block 3A, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, why would we have to vacate a street? Because now you're talking about less traffic. I mean, you got the flow this way. Let's keep the street open.
You're talking about Wallace?
Yeah, let's not vacate the street. I mean, that was the main concern before. You guys were kind of squibbling about traffic issues and all that. So keep that street open and just make the lots the same size as the other ones. Why can't you do that?
Really, it comes down to a $500,000 question.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's all money,
Who's
and
$5,000?
what's that?
Who's $500,000?
The developers. And so why keep it open if it's not needed? I mean, there's sufficient traffic flow in and out of there. And the other thing it does by vacating that is it gives us another 33 feet to spread amongst those lots. And that's always an issue, the size of the lots. So there's really no reason to keep that street open.
The other issue that I recall was that the block was too long for our ordinances, so this seemingly is a reaction to that comment that the city had or the neighbors had.
That's what initially, that in the lawsuit, obviously.
Yep.
So.
So you said most neighbors are in favor. I know there's a few of them quite a few of them that weren't in favor of this. Is there any
If
lawsuits or legal actions against this thing?
Well, obviously there is, and we've signed an agreement that if we get this plat approved, that lawsuit will be dropped.
So as long as they drop it, you can proceed, but if it's not dropped, then you can't proceed.
It's the reverse. Once we proceed, get it approved, then that will be dropped. And there's no reason not to move this way because it's actually a better flow. It enhanced some of the lots, and it actually, we've worked real closely with Mitchell Tech because they will be doing all those lots on the north end, including now the ones on the backside. And I can't see the lot. What are the lot numbers? They're 6 through 17? Comes with age, I can't read that. But anyway, they're going to be doing all of those lots up there now. Mitchell Tech will. So, and they're happy with this layout.
I'll move
So
to approve.
I got, Justin, is this all right with the city then, with the, to go forward with this plat like this, to change it like that?
I guess my view on it is you'd consider it like you would any request. I don't think the lawsuit really factors into how you'd treat this one.
Well, Jay, you're never in favor of vacating the street.
You know, that's a tough question down there, because that's getting pretty close to, I don't know.
Well-
If I would add, that is not a through street. It's a dead-end street that ends at Nagel Lane anyway. And the flow of the traffic this way is much better, rather than that traffic flowing all the way to the west. And by the time they get to those neighbors in the middle, it's going 40 mile an hour. This reduces the speed of the people, that all the traffic coming out of there. So, and it's, like I said, it's a $500,000 decision, and we're trying to build here workforce housing. And we don't have that in our budget. And if we have to do that, it would raise the cost of our lots, raise the cost of our homes. And these are homes that are in short need in Mitchell. We're trying to do the most efficient thing here that works out so we can get some growth here in Mitchell.
And basically, the homes and the lot sizes are going to be similar to what's on Bridle Drive. Is that correct?
Actually, they will be between the ones on Bridle Drive and the ones up on Firesteel
Okay.
in quality.
There, and just
Right.
area.
Mm-hmm.
I have a motion on the table already.
I know you have a motion on the table. I'm still waiting
All
for a
right.
second.
Well, just to make it pro, I'll second it, but I'm not in favor of vacating. So there's your second.
Moved and seconded that the plat be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. You guys looking at the infrastructure, water, sewer, storm stuff already, or no there yet?
Yep, we reviewed what it does to the changes of the utilities from the original layout. No issues from Public Works. There is an existing water line on where the current Wallace right-of-way is, but there's an easement reserved for that water main. So from a Public Works standpoint, we don't see any issues with the plat.
Easement is accessible by everybody that needs to?
Yep, it'd be a utility easement, so you can't build anything over the top of it. If anything is built over the top of it, we have the right to demolish it at no cost to us to get to where we need to be. So it's your typical utility easement, so I have no issues.
Anybody got a comment here before we start voting? Mark, your turn.
Genslinger,
Yes.
Gurza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
No.
Larson,
I'm going to reluctantly vote yes, because I really question giving away right away, but that's the way it is.
motion carried.
All right. Is there any other business to come before this body at this time? Seeing no one, if you have a need to address the planning board on an item that was not on the agenda, excluding personnel items, please come forward to the podium, state your name and your concern. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes. Items will be considered, but no action will be taken at this time. Seeing as no one is coming forward to the podium, we are adjourned. Thanks, Larry.